Hello, God bless you guys. It's me, Crystal Love for Jesus, back again with another video. I'm so blessed for you guys to be here with me today. So we have a channel that was emailed to me. This is Rodney Bush. That's the channel name. The video he shared was, he basically, I think it was a dream that he experienced with the rapture and entering heaven and experiencing a little bit of heaven. So we're going to get into this, you guys, and I pray that you're having a blessed day. I pray that this will encourage you. So let's go ahead and see, what is God trying to speak to us and tell us to the whole world? What are we needing to pay attention to? So let's go ahead and get into it.
I feel the Lord putting on my heart to share these dreams. I've had 3 dreams in the past year. I'll share with you 2 of them. The first dream I had, I was deployed to Qatar this past year. And the first dream I had, we all were raptured, and you could feel yourself leaving the earth. And when I say it was more real than reality, that's what it felt like. A euphoric bliss that you can't wrap your head around, you can't comprehend, you can't understand, you can't even fathom. We were lifted up to heaven, and you could feel yourself leaving the earth, and the overwhelming joy and euphoria was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my whole life. Like, it was so real, I actually believed in that moment that this was it, this was the real deal. But this is like how real the dream was. When we got there to heaven, we were all waiting, because we understood when we got there that time moves differently in heaven. Heaven, the time moves slower. And I mean, it moves slower in heaven than it does on earth. So a few seconds in heaven is several years on earth. And we were waiting for the tribulation to finish. Basically, we were just in a little, like a waiting area. There was a couple people there I recognized, I knew. I grew up with them. Those were the only 2 people I recognized, but there was lots more people there. We were different. People who had a deeper relationship with Christ, they had like a richer tone or a hue to their skin. And people with a not so rich but still had a relationship with Christ, their hue or their tone was slightly lighter or more opaque. And we all knew where we were. We all knew we were waiting, and we all knew that what was coming next. And everyone was a complete peace, because we knew we were safe, we were protected, and everything was going to be okay. And I knew I could have done more with my life, and I knew I could have been more. And that made me realize when I woke up that maybe we should spend our time more wisely here on earth. Big picture. The second dream I had was shortly after that. I was in my hometown, and I was in a hospital room, and there was a friend of mine who just had 2 babies, and someone handed me a child, and I looked down for a couple seconds, and I handed the child back to the family, and I heard an angel. It sounded like an angel's voice, almost like an angelic, like a bell tone. It was like a child, very high pitch, almost like a bell, but it was like a town crier. and they were making like a declaration. And the declaration was, the rapture is near, the rapture is near, the rapture is near. The angel's voice, I never saw the individual, I just heard it. They said it 3 times, the rapture is near, the rapture is near, the rapture is near. I haven't really shared these with that many people, but I've had 3 consecutive dreams. Those are the 2 I'm going to speak about, or talk about. I just wanted to, I guess, finally share these. I do believe we are in the last days, speaking from a eschatology perspective, and I do believe the time is close. I know that there's not a lot of time left, and I figured maybe if I made a video about this could impact other people. But those were the 2 dreams I had. I just kind of wanted to share them. That's all I had.
Thank you so much, brother Rodney Bush. That is the channel name. You can find it in the description box below. Thank you. And yes, it is affecting people. You are not going to see the fruits of your labor until we get to heaven. For things like this, where, you know, we're like sharing, like if you give out Bible tracts or you're sharing like videos and stuff, you don't truly get to see the full effect of what you, like just that one thing, what you've done until we get to heaven. You're going to see things explode, because whatever you feel led to do in faith with that has to do with Jesus has, like, it's never going to return void. It's always going to accomplish something. So make sure that you are going out and doing something, like whatever it is, whatever God has given you, anything, like anything. It's so simple, you know, just go out in faith, and don't be like he was feeling once we get to heaven, like once we get raptured and we're thinking, I could have done so much more. Like you have a dream or a vision that you should have shared, or you were supposed to go visit somebody who's in prison. You were supposed to call your grandma. You were supposed to call your dad. Like you were supposed to be talking to people. You're supposed to be, you know, you were supposed to tell such and such about Jesus. You know, anybody that you can think of that you have never told, that you know needs to hear it, and you're on the fence all the time. You need to do it. Don't have any regrets when the rapture happens, right? So glory to God for that. And we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused and, you know, keep our eyes, and I'm talking to myself too, you know, because even though I do these videos and stuff like that, like I still have to, you know, stay focused on what matters, you know, and not have these wants of like worldly things, you know. Like we have to stay on track. Our prayers need to be on Jesus and his kingdom and the future and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about that. And oh, so he says he gets to heaven and that, you know, time is different. And you know, it's very interesting because it matches with so many other people's dreams and visions of when they get raptured, and then they get these glimpses of, you know, experiencing heaven. And I think that's really interesting too. And the whole, like having a different hue, that's interesting. I wonder how that is going to play out. You know, I've heard someone say that people had different colors for like the families, like the section of families that they were in. Like you, oh, these people had this color because they were all from this family and they were all from this family, even though we're all like, you know, wouldn't we technically all be the same color as Adam and Eve if they have like a hue, like a, you know, like a hue color in heaven? But yeah, that's very interesting. What did you guys think? So he says that after they get raptured, then they're like waiting. You're in the waiting room. And I've seen other people say the same thing. This one other guy, he said he had a dream where like stuff started coming out the sky and like he got raptured up and he was in a waiting room. It looked like he was in a pew, you know. They're just sitting there and he's like, "What are we waiting for?" And someone tells him for other brothers and sisters. So we're literally sitting there because like we're not the whole bride, right? We're not the whole church. We're like there's still another half that we're waiting on, you know, that come to Christ, or like the lukewarm, we're still waiting for them to be one big family. And so it's just so crazy that we can actually escape these things like Jesus talked about. We can be worthy to escape, praying about it, praying to be worthy to escape, because we are already right now with all these distractions and pleasures and everything. We chose to follow Jesus instead. We chose to choose Jesus when everything is going well, everything is going good, right? Like we get rewarded for that. You know, we get rewarded for being in Christ and being in relationship, having our oil and being like, no, I want Jesus right now. Even though we have like everything, I can have whatever I want to do in this world, you know, I could be going after all these things. But it's like, no, you're going to choose to follow Christ. And all those people that they saw the warnings, they saw the signs and all these things. And then what? They still ended up choosing to be lukewarm. They didn't heed the message, right? They're not walking with Christ. They're not right with Christ. They're not repenting of their sins. They're just totally full of everything that's going on right now, you know? And they're going to be left in the tribulation. And then everything's going to be horrible for them. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And they're forced to make that decision. There is no more riding the fence anymore. You can't be on this side and on that side. You can't be sitting on the wall. No more. I've taken everything from you now, right? Rapture happens. I've taken peace out of the world. And now you have to make a decision. Are you going to die for me? Are you going to die for me? Because right now it's like, are you going to live for me? Right? Are you going to live for me right now? It's like, yeah, I'm going to live for you. I'm going to be ready for the rapture. I want to get out of here. I want to be with Jesus, right? And then when the tribulation starts, it's like, okay, are you going to die for me? Because that's all that's left. You didn't want to live for me. What are you going to choose now? Are you going to choose me? Are you going to die for me? Or are you going to continue to choose this world and the mark of the beast and then be damned forever once you die? So very, very, very intense, you guys. It's very intense. And I'm so glad that we have these dreams and visions, and we have to stay prepared, stay ready to go, share, tell as many people as possible, stop riding the fence, stop being lukewarm, stop focusing on the world, you know. Listen to that voice of God. Listen to him, seek him, find out who he is, believe in him. That's the only thing that matters in this life, and he will fix all of your problems. So I love you guys. If you made it to the end of this video, please leave below in the comments some fruit. We are bearing fruit for Christ. We are sticking with Christ. We are choosing to live for Christ now. We are choosing to live for Christ. The people in the tribulation are going to have to choose to die for Christ. We would do everything for Christ now. So I love you guys, and I will see you guys again soon in the next one. Bye.